Well, hello, making it to the finish line. Here with this Klein Q-Elite, awesome carbon little bike, super detailed frame. Did a lot of little scratch removal. It came out beautiful. It's almost mint condition-ish. You know, it still had a few years on it, but just a very couple little small little blemishes. As my mom would say, we let the devils out. So this bike is ready to be unleashed. Anyway, wrapping up to the finish line after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hi, I'm Justin the Guy. Obviously, I have a garage shop. Taking scary how to use bikes one bike at a time.
If you like these videos, please like and subscribe.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hey, I'm Justin the Guy. This little bike series where we're actually getting to the finish line on this. Need to strung up the cables on it. The frame is detailed. The wheels have been trued. Looking at the bike, you're looking at 2008. I think it was last production run that Klein was made through the Trek umbrella. And this was a pretty awesome little release. I think they only made it for 1 year. So this is the second one I've come across in the years of doing this. So this is pretty amazing. What's kind of cool though on this one is the wheels have been upgraded to the Cerium SLs, which are a pretty awesome wheel set. In addition to what was spec'd on it on the shifters and Ultegra, this is kind of, I think it's been upgraded, at least the shifters anyway. So it's all, you know, the internal like cable routing here, so you don't have cables coming out. Also, the prior owner put on some carbon bars and kind of a flex stem from Specialized that has that Zerx kind of give to it. So without further ado, going to post the pedals on this, clip the cables. I already did the derailleurs, the brakes adjustments. So this is just kind of an overview portion of doing this bike to the finish line. I'm really excited to get this bike out there and listed and what people will think about it due to the fact it's, you know, it's a little bit older, but it's like one of the pinnacle, like Klein's peak before they stopped producing. And this is where he really started to get into carbon, and knowing what, or having history of seeing what Klein has done in the past. Coming from MIT, he has a different perspective of, like, Le Mans, for example. Le Mans is a racer, or Lance Armstrong is a racer, or some of these other people's, like Eddie Merckx and so forth. They're racers. This guy, he was an engineer, and he came up with the Granular 2 process out of a grant, I believe, out of MIT, if I read that correctly. And, you know, if I'm wrong, please comment below. I'm always willing to be schooled. It's all right. Because, you know, history kind of, or memory doesn't serve as well, as a lot of people know. Also, the Kool-Aid was fed to us back when we were Trek dealers is also vision through Trek's lens versus, or Klein's lens versus what really happened too. So, you know, any case out there, any information is well received. So we'll get these pedals on. Trick of pedals is pedaling backwards is tightening, pedaling forwards is loosening. So that's, and these guys are Allen wrenches versus a 15mm wrench. Oh, even bigger. Oh, you're way bigger. You're an 8. So we get these guys on, double check the shifting one more time. Clip those cables. And, you know, another cup of Joe always helps when you're trying to finish stuff up. Get my mic a little bit closer, so. All right. So pedals are on there. I put on new pedals, reason being most of the clients that I sell to are brand new to cycling or brand new to road riding, and they're either not gotten into clipless yet. So that's kind of the reason I buy new platform pedals, nice alloy dual bearing platform pedals for people to just start riding. So I just don't want to throw people out in there with just clipless because, you know, it's something that you need to ease into, really. Excuse me, I'm just finishing up a cold as well, so trying to get through all this. All in one swoop. There's extra cable. So most cables I put about 2 inches or 1.5 inch length, except for the front derailleur. The front derailleur, I have a longer one so I can put a bend to it, so I can really zip tie that cable down back onto itself, so it doesn't get in the way while you're pedaling. Because right now it's gonna totally tap your foot, and instead of bending it here and compromising the tension there, if I need to replace this cable, or the next person needs to replace this cable, they'll still have plenty of usable cable to work with if they need to replace the housing. Also, you need to replace the cables when you take the derailleurs off to be cleaned. So it's always good practice as a mechanic to leave a little excess on there. So the next mechanic doesn't have to replace the cables each time. Not necessarily the cables are expensive, it's just kind of wasteful if you need to. Cables usually don't wear out as fast as the housing because cables are pre-pressed, rolled, and all sorts of tech put into them. The housing is the bit where they break down faster than the cable itself. So that's why we try to salvage the cables, and it makes our jobs a little bit easier. And it's not as wasteful. Give myself my super micro zip tie. This guy goes right into here on the back side of the cable that comes up through the frame, or back side of the frame, depending on your bike. And I just push it down underneath. So it makes this nice little loop underneath here. And then I use my cable tension to really tighten up zip ties. If you do a lot of zip tie work, these are pretty awesome. They mainly made for pulling cables to tighten, but it works. So we got some beautiful action going on here. I put on a new chain because the old chain was just a little stretched. Not too terrible. Brakes are nice and tight. Super tight. Okay, let's wrap this up. Literally. Bar wrap. Bad jokes. I'm sorry, but not sorry. So these guys have a pretty big bar on it, so I'm going to try to spread it so it covers a good portion of it, of course. So keep in mind when you're wrapping bars, you gotta put a lot of thought before you dive into it and not just go. Since there's a huge space amount here, the prior tape did stop right about here. I'm gonna try to get a little bit further than the last guy, or the guy whoever put it on there, just to have a little extra coverage. But we'll see how that turns out by the time I get there. So pre-cut these, get all my stuff ready. Staging, because once you go, you're in it. You're in it. That kind of deal. Alright, so I got 2. So bar tape, there's a lot of different flavors out there, and colors and thickness and so forth. I do more of a decent neutral brand put on my bikes. It's kind of like, after you do a lot of riding, you develop a personal preference sometimes. So I just leave it up to that. I'm not trying to second guess or anything. And it's a decent bar tape, nothing that's like too inexpensive. It's a SRAM company, so it is a legit, brand on most of them. Sometimes, very rarely I can recycle or reuse the bar tape due to the fact that bar tape just gets nasty right off the bat. It's kind of like wearing somebody else's socks. I mean, do I want to wear somebody else's socks that rode on this bike? Oh, hell no, even though they've been washed. It's just weird, and bar tape is pretty inexpensive comparably, so if you're buying a used bike to yourself, bar tape is something you probably want to switch out. Mountain bikes and hybrids, grips are the same thing. And then there's going to be fitting pieces like a different stem, may need to be replaced to fit your geometry of your body, as well as the saddle. Not all saddles fit like everybody. It's like shoes. There's all different types of sizes out there. You want to be fitted. I suggest going to a shop. And you can spend a little extra money on saddles because they don't wear out, really. So, you know, it's one of those investment pieces if it lengthens your ride. And a lot of brands like Bontrager and Specialized have a fit guarantee. So if you try one and it doesn't work out, you at least have opportunity of swapping that out after, I think, 30 days or something like that. And they also have fitters at those particular short stores to kind of help you with that. So investment in saddles is something that, you know, it's definitely well worth it. You know, because you having a saddle that doesn't fit you correctly, you can have some very painful rides that will turn you off on cycling. That just comes straight down to it. Same thing with cycling shoes. If you're starting to getting a clipless and you're thinking about cycling shoes, try different. It's like if you're a runner, you know it's either a New Balance or an Asics or a Saucony person or a different brand, or Brooks or Nike. There's a whole bunch, and one of those brands are going to fit you better than all the others. And same thing with shoes in cycling world. So you want to go the same thing as if they have a fit guarantee built into it. You can try it, and if it doesn't work out or do shims or whatever, you can go back and have them switch out to different shoes, which is another, there's two major contact points. So you want to make sure those are dialed when you go on those longer rides, for sure. There's no question about it. And on hands, grips, the stems, so forth, that's an adjustment as well. It always wears gloves, adds to the comfort level and also protection if you do biff it. So there you go on that. That's my 2 cents. All right, logo side down. Let's see what we can get out of this. So excited. Even though this is big for me, I'm really excited to take it for a test ride, ride it. Not like super long, just to, around the block here just to see how it accelerates and the comfort. It's gonna be hard because, good thing I have long legs. If I didn't, test riding this would probably not even be able to do it, but try to get the span on this. So get as much as I can on the upside. Wait. There we go. A little stubborn. There we go. Okay. And this also had kind of like gel inserts on the grips. Those sometimes come with the Specialized tape and some other brands, so I left them on there for added comfort for whoever's gonna be riding this guy. And this has a nice little cable tuck underneath to kind of hide those cables. It's pretty drastic, sharp turn. Trying to make sure it's not going to spread on anybody. And cover this gel insert, of course. This one has like little finger notches. Kind of like that's kind of funny. All right, so I got closer. That's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. So there is tapes out there I think are specifically have longer to them. So you can do a little more. But I got a little more than the prior one. Not a lot, but a little bit. Still want to leave space for all your gizmos and gadgets. And putting this electrical tape on there. Put a high tension on the first wrap and lessen the tension so it spans out. So it's clean on the second wrap. And get around to the third and the fourth. Less and less, and you have good coverage. And it'll stay secure. And it looks very clean. And do my little angle underneath. Voila. Roll my grip over. These have little notches where that grip fits in. And your bar and plug. And these are reflective, which is kind of cool. There's lights too that you can put, that you buy as bar and plugs for safety is always good. All right, one side down on the other. So we can match this, right? Kind of thing. Let's, there we go. So, also, I wish they would bring Klein bikes back, but lucky to have the ones they have out there, and makes it very unique. I mean, this person who ever buys this bike, they will not see themselves. There won't be another one out there like it. So for uniqueness, you are definitely going to be in that category. And conversation starter will be always going on. You go for your rides, group rides, or what have you. Guaranteed. So this guy is a gem and a uniqueness of itself. I don't know the quantities that were built. That'd be interesting to know how many they actually put in production. But probably not that many. Whew. Well, I need a... Yep. Did not put enough torque on this or span, so let's try this again. Take two. It happens. We gotta do it now before the stickiness sets. So that stickiness starts setting. It's sometimes it tears on itself as you're trying to take it apart. And less coverage on the bottom part here because it's less likely you're going to have, the rider's going to have their hands down there for a longer period of time. And usually more wrappage up here where the hands will stay on the hoods longer. So, oh yeah, it definitely feels like I have more tape to work with. Yeah. Boy, these bars are wide. Woo! Takes up a lot of tape. Amazing. Right on, here we are. Cut my angle at the very end. No length to spare. Yeah. Right there. Same thing with electrical tape. High tension. Next wrap, not as tense. Tension. Less than the third. Make sure it doesn't buckle and it's overlapping both sides. And last one with less tension, but still gives that kind of a lip down. And again, there are several different ways of wrapping bars. Some people have a lot of different preferences. So it can be definitely a conversation. But all at the end of the day, as long as it is tight and secure and it's clean looking and it holds up, that's all you can ask. Get the grip back down on my bar and plug. This guy. Yeah, cables are really tight. All right, so final touches. I like to put my sticker dots to protect the frame. And obviously there's some scratches right there because there wasn't one, which I cleaned up. As well as over here. There. It's usually about 3 of those. Check the frame. Frame sticker. There we go. Voila! Also give a hood's a little bit of a cleaning and a nice little wipe down to get a nice little shine. Details, right? Awesome. To the finish line. Here we go. Awesome little Klein Q-Elite. This is a pretty nice gem. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interest in this guy. He's really pretty cool. Like I mentioned, the carbon fiber, you can actually see it through the logoing because they stenciled it before painting. So a lot of Klein decals were painted, which is really cool. And then another tidbit is on the fork, they did the same thing. So even the Bontrager Race Lite decaling as well is actually, you can see the carbon of the fork blade, which is really kind of cool. Yeah, this thing turned out to be really nice, really excellent shape. The prior owner of this was original. He did take care of it quite a bit, which was really nice to see. I love working on bikes that have been taken care of, and he just wanted me to make sure I get it to a good home. And I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely find it a nice home. So anyway, thank you for spending some time with me in the garage. This little bike is ready to roll again. Back to life out there on the road. So thanks again for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care from the garage.